I'm going on. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion. there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Hello everyone, welcome to a Friday night matchup of Summer League Siege here at CEA. Tonight we got University of Waterloo going up against Northeastern Esports team? I am confused. Northeastern Club Sports, it's a different one. But nonetheless, I'm joined here by my lovely co-caster Crow.
Hi, I'm here. I don't usually do stuff for CEA, but Anomaly was like, hey, can you come in at 9? And I was like, okay.
And here
I'm
we are.
Here we are. I'm
And,
also, excuse me if I mauled during the stream, because Nordic are currently losing to Mirage, and I'm very upset about that. But, so I might mauled. I might also mauled over Zephyr's name, because it's literally just Zephyr, a French player who used to be on Supremacy. I might mauled over that, but otherwise we should be good. Do you know what map 1 is, by the way? Because I don't know.
Map 1 is going to be Villa with Waterloo attacking first, and then the second map is actually going to be Northeastern up on Cafe, and they're going to be attacking on that pick as well.
Well, I'm glad you know. So, wait, what was the first map again? I just
Villa.
Okay, Villa
with Waterloo attacking.
All right. So, the interesting thing about Villa too is, I don't know, obviously Collegiate is a far cry from the pro scene, but at the pro level, Villa's actually become a little more attacker favored. I believe it's 51 or 52% in the favor of the attack, so 3-3 split would not be strange, though at this level it's probably still defender favored. We have Oryx and Iana, right?
I believe so, yes.
That's cool. Oryx has seen some play regarding... He's almost always your hard roamer. Like, usually if you have a guy who hard picks like the Vigil or the Alibi or whatever, he'll be on the Oryx. Sometimes the rotatability through those hatches helps out. Other times, I mean, he's just a dude who can run around with an angled grip MP5.
He's the cool,
which is kind of fantastic. Iana, though, now the reason why you bring Iana is that she has nades. And kind of an infinite drone thingy, but I don't know. It's whatever. Thatcher's going to get banned, because why wouldn't Thatcher get banned? I don't think we need to talk about that. Hibana is going to be the second attacker banned because she can breach at range, basically, and there's so many walls on Villa that revolve around the impact trick, which Hibana can avoid if you use the Thermite. You kind of have to do, either that kind of phase workaround where they take the sledge and they, like, smash out the wall before putting on. That sometimes avoids it, though it's not consistent. Plus the fact that you have to get up close and personal, and that exposes you to a C4. Valkyrie, again, Valkyrie and Mira being two staple bands. Not really much to talk about. Is Echo banned, by the way?
I believe so, yes. That got done in this week. It's going to be following that along with because the reason for you that don't know that Echo is getting banned, permaban throughout the entire league right now and most of Pro League as well, is because his drone has an invincibility bug.
Yep.
Don't know how that happens, but it does.
Yeah, it's some kind of like hitbox issue, probably, because how many times has there been
we got Warden coming
hitbox issues in this game? Warden, it's Kazer's favorite operator.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of useless in most senses.
Never mind.
There we go. Yeah, no Warden. Get out of here.
The 6 pick from Thermite onto Thermite, though, this is a high IQ strat that, honestly, I don't think they'll see coming. Yep, we're going to be locking it in. And honestly, the attacking side lineup right here, I think is actually pretty standard for this map. You have a lot of fragging power inside of the Zofia and the Ashe, which we actually see a lot in pro play, especially with the IQ. A lot of those lineups are often taking the IQ, Ashe, and Zofia combo, since there's just so much soft breach and just anti-gadget in that IQ power. And the Thermite obviously coming because you do need hard breach. There are ways to get around it more often than not. You're either taking a Maverick here for the Maverick trick on the wall, or you're just taking the Thermite outright, which they're opting for the Thermite, as I guess they're either not comfortable with the Maverick tricking, and also Sylvanas banned, so it's really all they got left. And then Nomad is Nomad. That's another pretty standard pick, so that's just pretty meta picks right here coming out. The only non-meta pick I think coming out here really is this Legion, because as we know, Legion kind of got nerfed into the ground a little bit at the beginning of this year. Because he used to have his goo mines, which were absolutely disgusting, where they did damage on first contact and then also additional damage ever since. And you could also see where they were through walls, so you know exactly where people were coming from, and that was kind of busted. Since then, that has been removed, and now it only does the tick damage, as well as inhibiting you from doing the planty plants, as well as sprinting. But getting into the first round here, we will be starting actually a kitchen, which is actually a pretty decent site to start at, as it is one of the strongest sites, despite it being usually a tertiary pick for most teams.
Yeah, we've seen it almost take the place of AVG or Trophy as the primary, or not necessarily the primary, but the first played. It revolves heavily around this Trophy statuary Astro presence that we see Swiggity Swooty. I'm not going to say that whole name. That we see Swiggity now playing in as the Vigils. You know, he's got that drone denial. He can hide, but probably not for long, especially with, you know, just how many flashbangs and the IQ and the fact that they're probably going to end up opening the wall and just getting that free line of sight down there anyway. You'd be surprised how many times Vigils get caught without their ERC currently up and droned out anyway. So, I mean, it's a little bit of time delay, but it's certainly not infinite, as it seems like the Thermite wants to get the reach down on the wall, but it's Rithic with the first kill onto Zephyr. Just like his French counterpart, maining the Jaeger, he'll get taken down, and Llama Thrust, though, gonna take out Swiggity. Rithic, I keep saying Rithic, because I keep thinking it's rethinking. Rithic is gonna be the only death off the attackers, though, and losing just a Zofia for both the roamers on the top. I mean, it sacrificed quite a bit of time, but you're still in the mankind advantage, but Chaotic, looking to maybe even it up, but gonna decide better and hold on to that C4 for the moment.
And that's really going to come into play later, I think, because there's a lot of vertical pressure here, but might actually get caught out here as he gets shot a little bit through the floor, losing about, not actually as much HP as you would think, only losing about 15 it looks like, and the floor is getting opened up here for some massive vertical play here. Llama Thrust does begin to work their way down the Astro stairs, looking towards a little push into the kitchen itself, but right now he actually might get caught out here, as there is someone hanging out in that Red Halls area, and it is getting kind of close right here. Ooh, oh boy. Dez gets the kill on Clem, actually. Headshot for him. Ash taking him down 2v4 now. It's getting really, really dark and dirty for these NEU players as they're down to their last two numbers. And right as I say that, Legion comes up from the basement, actually, to get the kill onto Tonsil Tennis with Inquisition coming on that one.
I hate these names.
These names are something else, to be honest, but it's still doable with 18 seconds left on the clock. There's men on site for University of Waterloo, but it is also a hard hold. Planter does start to go down. Will probably go down with 10 seconds left on the clock, and Samwise takes down Inquisition, getting him a kill, and then the round gets finished by Samwise, getting the kill onto Chaotic to give the attackers round one.
Yeah, that was, I mean, after that clear of the top, killing the, who was it, the Mute? Yeah, I believe it was the Mute. No, the Vigil and the Jaeger were up top, and then on site was Mutant Pulse, I think, with Legion roaming. Once they got the Mute, it's Legion by Pantry Stairs and a Pulse on site by himself. You're leaving a UMP in a 1v3, 1v4.
Yeah.
Like, that's not great. And even then, you know, they probably could have just flooded the Pulse, but they decided to take a little more slowly. They knew one guy was flanking by Pantry after one of their teammates died. You know, Pulse had already used his C4. It was actually destroyed by the breaching charge of Samwise. And, you know, in that default, you're extremely safe. You've got multiple guns covering that position. You're likely not going to win that. And Samwise, you know, with the skill cannon, quote unquote, that is the G8, was able to lock out the round. So Trophy Statue are going to be next. Again, what's become kind of the standard rotation. People have kind of fallen away from Aviator games just because Aviator games was played like just so much
into the ground, pretty much.
Yeah, it's been found out. Like, you know, there's not a team, or there shouldn't be a team in comp that doesn't know how to take AVG, and it looks like with a Wamai and a Castle and a Jaeger, we are going to have the infamous closet hole.
Yeah, and with that Castle, it is going to get kind of interesting, because Castle, while having kind of a standard pick-in for like the high elo and pro level play, especially for that site, it is going to be interesting to see how well this actually gets pulled off, because all of these players are very good in the way that I think that most of them are either high plat or diamond. It is very, very aggressive in the way that you hold that site, especially because you're basically just throwing one of your players into the closet, and if he gets pushed out from Master or just gets droned and naded into oblivion, it can be really awkward for that player inside of the bedroom.
So the way that I usually see this closet hold go down, especially in T3, most notably by teams like Thunder Logic and Team Novo and stuff, usually what they do is they place their smoke inside a closet with the Wamai covering from the hole, the rotate opened inside of Master Wall, and the castle positioned in bathroom to cut off another cross. They kind of have a three-way crossfire on closet. Right now, it appears to just be Swiggity and Clem currently on site, and Clem can't really hold the same crossfire that you normally see if more of that wall is opened. A lot of times it's just the middle panel, and the two side walls are the ones that are shotgunned open. Interesting that they're gonna have the Wamai playing that position as the AUG in a close quarters fight. While it is strong, it's not as good as catching someone mid-vault with a shotgun. So it's very possible that he might lose a fight just because he's got a rifle and not a shotgun, but he's definitely going to also be relying on these study roamers of Zephyr, and I couldn't see who else. Zephyr and Chaotic currently, the Jaeger and the Mute. Two very competent roamers, but as I say that, Zephyr is going to get lit up to just about 1 HP by the G8 of the IQ, but that's not going to stop him from taking out Dez before he's quickly refragged by Llama Thrust, and Chaotic is just going to dip. He's going to say, no, sir. There's 4 people aggressing on my position, and all I have is an SMG-11. I don't have enough ammo to take these guys out, so he'll escape with his life. I mean, a 1-for-1 trade. Jaeger for Ash, not a big deal. What is a big deal is that Jaeger and that Mute wasted effectively minute 40.
And definitely that's what you want in the end, is as a roamer, your job is not to get kills in the long run, it is to burn as much time as you can and make those attackers really start second guessing where they can and cannot go outside of that side as they approach it, because one wrong move and you could lose people on your team. Really, it's just coming. Ooh, and right as I say that, Llama Thrust getting a nasty shot onto Inquisition after that Castlecade gets broken open. But as I was saying, those roamers really are kind of just a time waster for the attackers. If they get kills, it's just cherries on top. But right as I say that, it is kills going down, action-packed. As Rithik gets the kill onto Chaotic, that is the Mute down, and it's just looking really grim for NEU here as Swiggity gets the kill on the Llama Thrust, quickly trying to get his team back into things, but it's quickly turning into a 3v1 right now, with the only person left being that Clem Smoke. And the diffuser is going down, he will quickly get destroyed through the wall with a headshot by that Sledge L85 from Tonsil Tennis.
Yeah, a decent roam, unfortunately not capitalized upon. That was as simple as UW took control of the study side of the map, moved through 90 and won fights. That's kind of the story of that round.
Is it your birthday, Crow?
Is it? What?
I don't know. We got people in chat saying gotta pop in here and wish Crow a happy birthday.
Who?
That'd be Pragup 33.
Oh, Gupta. Oh yeah, it is my birthday. It's the 26th, isn't it? Yeah.
How do you just forget that?
Okay, so I tweeted. I celebrated my birthday like midnight yesterday. So like.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It's kind of like
it's like
past.
Yeah,
I forgot. I forgot. I'm 20 today, man.
Hey, congrats, man! Happy birthday.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the club.
Look how I'm spending it.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah. Again, that was. I mean, all NEU had to do was stare at the connector doorway and shoot them. And they just they didn't do that, clearly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 2-0 for UW on their attack. And Waterloo have been looking pretty decent. Both because of their play has been pretty good, but also a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of maybe listlessness from NEU, not watching certain angles, the closet hold being completely ignored. And the Wamai not really rotating until later in the round. But we'll see what happens in AVG. They're going to keep switching it up, not go to the same bomb site twice in a row. They're bringing a Goyo. That's different. First time they're going to bring a Goyo. First time they're going to bring a Kite and a Mozzie as well. So a lot of switch ups. So they've got a little more drone denial. Well, not more. Technically you get more with a Mute, but I guess just a little more flexible drone denial, I guess, on Swiggity. Wall denial and the Kite, because of course there is no Thatcher. So Kite gets immediately better once that's banned, and then of course you got Goyo comboed with the Jaeger, which sucks to deal with.
I think also it has something to do with the fact that he's won better guns. The swap outs for the Wamai, Mute, and Castle, which respectively you have the AUG, SMG-11 / shotgun. or an MP5 depending on what you're taking, and then also the UM45, which historically is the worst gun in the game. Yeah, it's grody. So definitely a step up here as you're going from that to the Vector 12. I think I saw a Commando on the Mozzie, and then also the
He better be running the
TC-15.
Commando. The better gun. Yeah, there we go.
We'll see once he on ADSs, because right. No, that's the Commando.
Yeah,
I see the silhouette on his name.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
plus
good
it's the normal hollow. The Roni has the what is the
Yeah.
Vortex sight or whatever?
Vortex.
But if anyone ever asks you, the Commando is the objectively correct gun.
Yes, it is.
All five members of SSG run Roni. Or, sorry, not Roni, run Commando. So, I mean, that's all the proof you need is Zephyr holding that pixel angle onto the connector double will send some pot shots over towards Llama Thrust, not connect with anything, though, as Thrust is now a little bit wary of that position, just throwing out the stuns as Ash currently has an amalgamation of a firearm. That is disgusting.
That is.
Jeez, it is just. It's glued. It's currently super glued to her hands. What? I think it's the breaching round recoil, but with the fire rate of the R4C. That is so strange.
I hope this is just a spectator bug. Otherwise,
it has to be. There's no way.
He's not reacting at all.
Yeah, as the Goyo shield will fall inside the site. A flank as well, it looks like, coming up from one of the staircases by an attacker. I couldn't quite see, or couldn't quite catch who it is. Actually, no, it's Inquisition at the bottom of red, so never mind. It's not a flanking attacker, but a flanking defender. The Goyo just waiting to strike. He's got his pistol out for whatever reason as the execute starts to come through. Rithik now behind the table, spotted out by Chaotic, but no, Chaotic doesn't hit the trigger quick enough, and Llama Thrust is going to take out the flanking Goyo. Zephyr, though, on the trade on a tonsil tennis, even to 4v4. Actually, technically a 4v3, as now Rithik has been downed and finished off. Clem will also pile in on the action. It's Samwise and Dez versus 4, with only 25 seconds left and no diffuser control in hand, currently guarded by the smoke. This round is not looking likely. We might see any use first as Swiggity will drop the IQ. All up to Dez, 15 seconds left, 4 kills to find, and he's killed off by Swiggity. The Mozzie finding 2 in the round, and NEU will take round number 3.
Yeah, and really just a lot of things came together there for NEU, as well, regardless of the fact that they're not Monzi, Goyo got taken out really early in that round, especially where he was positioned. Like, in my opinion, he should have had at least 1 kill there, and I just guess he got peeked at a really awkward time when he wasn't looking or wasn't prepared or something, or just because he had the drop. I don't think they knew he was there until obviously he died, which I don't know if he made noise on Barb or something, but really things coming together for NEU there, giving them their first round of the map. And I think it had something to do with just the fact that they're playing. It looked like they were playing more confidently, especially with the guns they had. But as I say that, they're going back to trophy, so they're going to be bringing back the closet hold. Does look like they will be swapping out the pulse for the Wamai, so same exact setup as they had last time. I will be curious to see if they make any modifications into this hold here, as last time their closet hold kind of got just ignored in its entirety. There was no actual pressure put into that side of the map at all. It all came from the study side, where you had the Jaeger and the Mute just kind of hanging out over there, which did ended up kind of bringing their demise, as they did get the 1-for-1, but quickly thereafter kind of just got pushed into sight. That's how they lost the round.
Yeah, I mean, that's why when you do that closet hold, you really got to make sure that you're going to have a good roam over by study. Because again, if the attacker just circumvent it and you have nothing that's inhibited them over on that side, they've got free reign of connector and statue doors. So, I mean, NEU's roam last round was not terrible. I mean, it wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't awful. I mean, they came away with a 1-for-1 trade. They lost a Jaeger to take out the Ash, and wasted like a minute 40. You know, concerning time, that's pretty decent. Maybe if Chaotic stayed there, I think Chaotic would have probably just got collapsed upon without any picks, so I think that was a smart move by him to back out. But from there, again, you know, they pushed doorways, UW pushed doorways in one fight, which they maybe shouldn't have been allowed to do. So, again, I mean, UW are probably thinking to themselves, you know, it worked last time, we can probably just take from study again. But they didn't really have the control that I think they didn't have the control that they, like, normally would have needed in a normal round. Yeah, UW would have probably gotten shut down, especially because I don't even think they had anyone on the master balcony. So, I mean, I'm hoping that if UW goes for the exact same attack, NEU are at least able to capitalize on the lack of positioning.
And one thing we actually didn't, we just barely kind of saw that with the third-person UI there, was that the Gemini of Tonsil Tennis actually did spot out the player hanging out inside of Aviation and also Vault. I don't know if he saw the person in Vault, but definitely Zephyr to get spotted out there, as he did actually end up shooting the Gemini. And there are 3 people going in for the frags here, but little do they know there actually is nothing here for them other than the player in Vault, but we will see if actually they do get spotted out. But it looks like Mutes actually exited the time, and he actually might be going for a peek outside. He lights up the Nomad, but doesn't get anything out of it. This Llama actually kills his buddy behind him. Jaeger goes down behind him, and now he's just looking for that Mute there. Very unfortunate circumstance there, as I think Chaotic should have had that kill, but SMG-11 recoil maybe proven too much for him in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, you say light up, but he only actually hit the Nomad with 1 shot. So that was unfortunate. He'll lose the life of his Jaeger, but I guess they just didn't know the Mute retook over 90. You'll lose your Iana, so I mean, Hologram's gone, Nade's gone, but you trade back the Mute, so 2 for 1. You've only got a minute 5 left, though, as you try to make your way over towards the landing as well as the connector. And if this round goes any like it did last time, they'll just push in and win their fights. And I mean, with the man count advantage, they don't even necessarily have to have insane gun skill. They can just play for trades because, you know, that's how numbers work. 50 seconds left, and Clem is now holding this doorway with the shotgun. No laser, though, so the bullet spread, or the pellet spread might not be as tight. I have seen a lot of shotgun fights be lost just because, you know, 1 pellet happens to not hit due to the lack of a laser. Diffuser now getting juggled around because, of course, you do not want your Ash carrying it. That would certainly be a questionable decision, as now the Nomad has picked it up. Probably the weakest gun on this lineup, so it does make sense. Swiggity and Castle currently trying to hold around this single panel reinforcement over an Astro as Dez, as well as Rithik tack on. It's all up to the Malai, and he'll lose the fight to Rithik, and UW take a very dominant round 4 after a pretty decent roam clear followed again by a push through the bottleneck, not capitalized upon by NEU.
Yeah, NEU looking very clumped up there at the very end, though. They had 2 people, I think, peeking the same exact wall at one point there. I think it was both Wamai and the last player, I think, Castle, just peeking the same angles, which anybody in Siege will tell you, the chance of getting shot in the back is very high. And just, you don't want to be peeking the same angles, because that means that someone's not watching your back, or you're not getting your back watch. And it just kind of gets torn down there, but we will see a return to Dining Room Kitchen, as this is one of the sites that they have not won yet, and they are, looks like the same strat coming out here, same exact lineup as that time, but there will be a pop-up on the side of Waterloo, taking that Maverick. Maybe I might be eating my words here a little bit. They actually are confident on it. They just wanted to see what the game plan was that first round.
Yeah, I mean, a weird site rotation right now from NEU, as it's been mirrored so far throughout the half. What has it been? Dining trophy, AVG trophy, dining, which with AVG being their only victory. I mean, last time they defended this site, their roam got kind of crushed, and then from there it was easy. It was easy stuff. I mean, last time when Inquisition flanked through Pantry, that was, you know, obviously a surprise play. I certainly hope UW have learned from that. Inquisition might not be able to go for the same risky flank. Chaotic now, as well, on the objectively superior UMP, as Pulses is just better than Castles. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Because Pulse is a 3-speed. I mean, it's just better. It's like how Smoke's shotgun is better than Mutes.
Yep. He faster. But getting into it though, we will see Mute Jammers going down all over the place up here. And honestly, I don't know why they keep swapping up sites. Like, I guess like it could be a mental thing. But at the same time, like, I think that their hold on trophy was actually way better than it was for their kitchen hold. Their kitchen hold, they got room cleared into Oblivion upstairs with losing both of their roomers, actually, I believe, if I recall correctly. And just kind of got pushed onto site really, really quickly. And then the unfortunate circumstance of Pulse's Nitro getting lost to a breaching charge. But Pulse does know where the people upstairs are, which is giving his team some information on where they're coming from, which could help in the terms of the roamers upstairs, as they are holding, it's only Swiggity up here, actually. Swiggity's the lone. Ooh, it's a nice little shot onto Llama, taking him down to about 15 HP, if I had to guess. But Samwise quickly trading back, getting that Vigil out of there, saving his teammates remaining health, and giving them full control of the second floor.
And the IQ is able to just flank through Connector into Trophy because he's solo. Swiggity, there's just no one up there to help. But again, Inquisition roaming downstairs in the basement. He's able to come up and kill Llama Thrust through the hatch. So you lose Nomad, but I mean, at this point in the round, I'd imagine 2 or 3 of the air jabs are out. Chaotic could go for a C4 as he sees the prone player, and there you go. That is Rithik quickly dispatched of. I don't know why he just decided going prone in the middle of Master to drone was a good idea, with knowing there's a pulse on the board, because 9 times out of 10 on a dining kitchen defense, there's a pulse on the board. So that was a little bit curious, but through the floor, the pulse will get felled after using his explosive. So no more C4, but no more intel. That's still a very good pick for the attackers. Clem will also get slightly lit up by another upstairs player, but it's a 3v3. 53 seconds left with UW yet to actually start to transition over to a take.
Oh no. Don't peek him, bro. You're gonna lose.
Why would you challenge that? You have the SMG-11.
Yeah,
You're challenging the R4C. You could hear it. You hear that it's the R4C. That was strange.
Interesting nonetheless, but we will be seeing the plans are going down, and probably another round in the column for University of Waterloo here, but Inquisition starts pushing up very aggressively into the site. Might get the kill onto Tonsil Tennis, and he will double kill for him. 2v2 right now. Very, very nice, but there is vertical gameplay here coming out. Zephyr gets the kill on Samwise, bringing it to a 1v2 with the remaining player actually sitting at the top of Astro, and they may know that he is up there as the diffuser is sitting directly below and the ceiling is open. Yep, on flank comes Zephyr. He does know that it is there, but why are you jumping back down?
They don't know.
Oh no! He doesn't know. He is trying to defuse, and the diffuser does get heard, and he will get shot in the head. Triple kill for Dez, and he does know where the final person is, but he's just going to go for the defuse. I don't know what's going on. What is going through these players' heads? Oh, and he comes off of it. There's no remaining time with no time left to defuse. It is going to be another in the column for Waterloo. That was a round and a half, and I understand none of it. It's
Okay. Let's break it down.
The fiesta.
Let's break it down. So, standard top floor roam from NEU, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got the Raw reinforced, Vigil playing an Astro. The mute upstairs dips.
Yep.
Well, out of nowhere. So while the Vigil is distracted by the bathroom players, there's one moving in from Master Statue. There's one moving in from Trophy. The Vigil gets absolutely pounced upon. But then Inquisition's there for a trade. He kills the Nomad through the hatch, right? All right, 4v4, whatever.
Yep.
C4 from the Pulse, kill through the floor. Even 3v3. Then the Execute starts to come out. And the Maverick gets the plant down somehow with 0 cover. The position the Ash was playing was for post-plant. None of the other attackers were in any position to protect their Maverick, but Inquisition doesn't push. He decides to wait it out. Plant goes down, he kills the Maverick, but it's too late. Even though Zephyr gets the other attacker left, I mean, if you're the defenders, right, and you're in a 1 versus 2 situation, you've already killed one of the guys downstairs, you've killed the planter. Logically, right?
Yeah.
If there's 3 people left alive for the attack, 1 was the planter, 1 was the downstairs cover, where's the 3rd guy gonna be? You've already sprinted through Memo, you've sprinted through the hallway, you've cleared dining and laundry. Like, and then Zephyr jumps over the balcony?
Yeah,
I don't...
Because if he had kept going, he would have easily had Ash. Ash wasn't even looking in his general direction. Like, he was still watching the diffuser, I think. He would have had the drop. If he had, like, walked through and didn't have Thunderfoot, but Dez gets a headshot onto Zephyr, I guess, as he's trying to go for a spawn peek. Yep, definitely a spawn peek, and absolutely gets his head removed and reamed. That is Jaeger down very early, unfortunately, for NEU. Maybe trying to get something going for their team here, as they have been not doing too hot for this game so far. Jumping right into the Mozzie Pest as well. This is looking pretty Fiesta-like, but...
We still got the spectator bug on Mozzie.
Yeah.
Where it says 96.
Oh boy.
Under his
Yeah, he's got 96 pests.
That would be actually
absurd.
The worst.
Yeah, you would never be able to join again.
Oh, that would be... I mean...
A lot of spectator bugs in this. We got Ash, we got
I mean,
Mozzie.
hey, maybe if you fill his kit with overabundance, maybe you could catch him like mid-pass.
No,
that would be
he's got scavenger perk on.
Oh, I see. All right, but no engagements yet throughout the first minute after Zephyr's death. Again, the spawn peak getting completely shut down. Hold on.
Huh?
I didn't hear any ADSs get burnt. Was there nothing?
There
Did
was
Zephyr go
nothing
for a
there.
spawn peak without placing ADSs?
I think he might have.
I don't. Okay, no, there's one in sight, I think, but I don't think there was one covering main. So Swooty will. I don't know what I'm gonna call him Swiggity. Swiggity sounds better. Swiggity not only loses that main stairs position, but takes a ton of damage from the exploding shield and the nade. So interesting that they weren't covering that, but there's a frag from Spanish Inquisition onto sorry, not Spanish Inquisition. It was the wrong TCSG. Chaotic onto Llama Thrust, as well as another frag and a C4
coming
from Swiggity. They're just running downstairs, and I mean, they don't really have any. They either have a Mozzie drone or they're just guessing, and they're getting really lucky.
Yeah,
But it's going to even
probably.
out of 3 versus 2 after the dust settles. There's the ADS. The nade will get caught. Both Tonsil Tennis and Rithik also very, very lit up against a smoke and a TCSG. So it's not looking great. No, it's not even either of those things. It's just Swiggity who's going to retake the main stairs. He doesn't need a Goyo shield to fell Tonsil Tennis. It's Rithik. He's 4-3. So, I mean, that's an okay scoreline. Maybe he'll be able to do it, but with only 25 seconds left and such minimal HP, it's not looking good. There's a player inside of Study. Swiggity is just going to swing out the door, actually shoulder peek it, baiting out the pre-fire, but he's going to try and fire at the shield instead, and there's the gas canister to finish him off and choke out the Zophian. NEU will finally take another round. They went through 2 full site rotations, and the only site they were successful on was AVG.
Yeah. Unfortunately for them, now they are on the attack, which is an entirely different beast than defending, as just judging off of past performance, maybe they're better attackers than they are defenders, as while this was actually, I believe, their map pick. Nope. This is definitely Waterloo's map pick, according to what I'm being told. So while this is not their map, so it could be just like explained away as, oh, this isn't their map, they aren't playing it as much. They still are playing it, and I have actually seen this go very well, and some teams are just better at attack on certain maps than others. But what we will be seeing nonetheless is a very, very, I'd say, typical setup with a Ash, Sophia, Thermite, Sludge, and Gridlock that is pretty standard as far as generic meta combos go. But
Yeah.
one thing to note is that I believe on the side of UW they are going to Aviators first. So I'm very curious to see if they are going to put a variation on what the hold that any were doing, or if they're just going to do a standard setup of just hanging out inside of the site with a strong hold presence on the main stairs.
Yeah, I would imagine it's very similar, like you said. We already see the main stairs shield being set up from UW. I believe it was the smoke. Yeah, Llama Thrust already put it over there. So likely you're either going to have Dez or Samwise holding that. The advantage to holding it with Dez is that, of course, you know, you're a 3-speed with a 416. It doesn't get any better than that. Actually, no, I forgot. He got nerfed. He's a 2-speed now. Still, I'd say the 416 higher.
Legs.
I think probably a little bit stronger than the AUG, but the advantage to having Samwise play that position is that you regenerate the magnets throughout the course of the round, and you can just keep protecting the field. So yeah, it's going to be with a Wamai playing there, with his continuous projectile denial. I don't how long does it take to recharge one of those? Like 45 seconds?
Yeah, something like that. It's either 30 or 45.
All I know is it's a long-ass time, and if you die too early, then you certainly don't get anything from it. That's why you typically see Wamai is never run alone. He's only run in tandem with the Jaeger, just because
don't peek this, brother.
He gets max 5 discs, and they come throughout the round, so, I mean...
Ooh.
It's definitely not as good, but Dez is just gonna wide swing on a Swiggity, and Swiggity gets caught out, standing on top of the bed, and now the Mozzie has gone over to join him. We've got a duo roam over towards the trophy statuary side of things. It seems like another player from the hallway trying to assist, but Chaotic is just gonna wallbang Rithik into the dirt, and the roam so far going even. But dropping Mozzie for Ash, I'd say that's still in the advantage of NEU. Trying to find the Jaeger, and there's Chaotic, the support player on the Thermite with the double kill to open things up for his team, and NEU already looking pretty good on this round.
Yeah, I mean, Fragmite OP, if we're being completely honest, back in the day when he had, I believe, frag grenades.
Yeah.
So definitely living through the early Season 2 days with this Thermite getting the heavy, it's almost like entry fragging almost with the Thermite, but Nonetheless, it's a very good start for the side of Waterloo on this first defense. Or not Waterloo, pardon me. The side of NEU on this first attack, as they are just getting all of the things they need so far. They got both the roamers down so far, and so now all they have to deal with is the people that are actually sitting on site, and one person actually sitting in Classic 90 right now. And it is going to get very, very dirty very quickly, if I had to guess, as Toxic Babes are starting to go out. So that is the 90 area cut off. So it only leaves up either waiting out the clock on the Toxic Babes, so Tonsilton gets the kill on the Zephyr, bringing him down, and quickly getting refragged with Clem taking down Samwise. So it is still a 3v2 scenario with one-man advantage in the favor of NEU, but clock is not quite in their favor as triple kill comes from Chaotic. Another kill comes quickly out for him as Tonsilton is quickly reflags onto Chaotic, shutting down his kill spree. Very low HP on this remaining Waterloo player, but it is still 2 versus 1 right now, and it's getting worse by the second as he does peek, but already the players of NEU have gotten into the site right now, and he has to go break his way back into bar, and it is slowly getting worse for him as they have figured out that he is in study, and he will have to go through a long rotation to get back up here. The diffuser does go down with Spanish Inquisition planting that behind bar. Nitro almost takes that Spanish Inquisition, but not quite, and will not get anything because of that, but it is only 32 seconds left, which you would think is a lot of time, but in clutch situations, not really. Gridlocks do go down, spikes are everywhere, and he does eventually just get absolutely removed by the Track Stinger of all things. Track Stinger is really coming through strong there, and those things actually do way more damage than you think.
Yeah, what is it, 10 damage per step?
10 per tick, yeah.
Yeah, so the Bandit, I guess, being lower than that, and a perfect throw by, who was that? Inquisition on the Gridlock. Just saving them and using them to cover the post plant rather than cover the flank. So a little bit of a different utilization of the Track Stingers. You know, we saw the Nomad coming out full force for UW. Obviously, you know, the attackers this time just opting for a little bit more, not as hard flank watch. And I mean, really not using it for flank watch at all, just using it to shut down a pushback instead. So Aviator Games will not go the way of UW, and hey, we might just see an attacking-sided Villa. I mean, it's still too early to call it, but with how well that round went for NEU, certainly might be, especially Chaotic getting a 3K, I believe, with the Thermite. Like you said, Fragmite OP, just running in and decking everybody. So AVG is going to be the defense yet again from UW with looks like the exact same setup.
And I think one thing to note is that with their Gridlock, it brings so much versatility with those Track Stingers, as you do, as you said, have the option of getting that flank watch down with those, because your only option is either to destroy them or find another path. So you're definitely going to get some kind of information regardless based off of those Track Stingers, depending on which way that roamer decides to go through. But also that last round, since they had actually cleared out all of the roam for Waterloo, all he had to do with those Track Stingers after that point was just throw them down after post plant and make sure that anybody that came near the diffuser was going to at least take some damage or get notified of the presence.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse.
Yeah, tracks suck to deal with if you don't have like an impact.
Yeah, because it's just, I think it's like 3 bullets per thing. It's not. I don't know if they have a health bar, but it seems like
no, it's just one shot.
Well,
it's
that
one
shows what
shot,
I know,
but there's just like there's so freaking many of them.
Yeah,
like that's the issue.
That's why.
Because I mean, so
many bullets.
Pretty much every utility in this game has like every piece of utility has just 1 HP. It's just like some things are bulletproof and some things are not.
Yeah.
I just remember the weirdest like Gridlock play I've ever seen was actually casted Space Station for invite calls, and Thinking Maid had to shoot out all the Track Stingers in a post plant. That he was left with 1 bullet in his pistol, and that's what he killed the last dude with.
Nice.
It was nuts, but that just shows the power of the Track Stingers. You know, sometimes you waste time as well as ammo, and you force people into disadvantageous fights. So it's definitely interesting how Inquisition has been using it, like I said, rather than flank watch, more in the post plant. So I guess they're really banking on that objective play, as the Jaeger of Dez does take a little bit of damage from, I believe, the upside down repel of Clem. Swiggity also pressuring the player currently in Trophy. Zephyr looking to peek inside, but he'll get dropped by Rithik on the Mozzie. A good first frag there. The Zofia gone, so a lot of utility now off the table, as well as a lot of fragging power. Zephyr doing okay for himself this match so far. And because he's shut down that Zofia, that's one of the bathroom players down. There's a bit of a stack up there, but the flash from Swiggity going to prevent him from pushing in, but he'll be able to find that kill as well as another 2 tacked on for Swiggity, trading back his Zofia in full force. The question is, do they know if Dez is on red stairs? And I guess they knew. Swiggity's just a knower. He'll drop the Jaeger for his 3rd kill of the round. He's looking maybe for more as flashes go out over towards 90. Lava Thrust is still going to challenge this angle, despite 3 of his teammates dying to the player over in that position. Gas Canister's looking to come out to try and stall even more as the flash grenades come out to burn ADSs. But Samwise is still behind a shield inside of the site as well, but the smoke is really in no position to help him. If this Wamai gets pressured out and killed, there's no trade. Flash is coming out just trying to deal with the smoke. The upside down rappel will take him out, and Swiggity gets his 4th kill of the round. Every kill so far coming on the back of this Ash. The Wamai whiffs all his shots. Lands maybe 1 on the Clem there. Unfortunate for him. But Clem, he'll steal the ace. And Samwise goes down. NEU will take their 2nd attack in a row on AVG.
Yeah, it's really coming down to individual player performances for this NEU squad. I feel is a lot of them actually comes down to Swiggity absolutely flexing. Like that round was just a Swiggity flex. Like there's no question about it. Man was just clearing left and right. Like he was just on the gear, and that's really what got them that round. Is you take out all of their team. There's nothing really outside of like an absolute god tier performance of the remaining person on the other team that could actually give them that round. But definitely showing a strong performance here on this attacking side, maybe showing that they are, as I was saying earlier, just a better attacking team.
Yeah, Swiggity just knew that Jaeger was man there.
Yeah,
he swung, and the Jaeger didn't even have time to react. So
yeah, there was no smooth brain moment about that. He had so many ridges.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
All of the thought.
Okay.
But getting back into things, we are now actually tied up, despite what that 4-2 would have shown. Definitely brought to you in part by Swiggity and Chaotic, just absolutely having massive performances.
I thought you were about to do the sponsor read.
No.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, the 4-2 getting evened up, brought to you by NVIDIA.
Brought to you by the cracked energy of Rogue Energy. Use code CEA for 10% off at checkout.
Also, Tonsil Tennis just DC'd and prep. That's a repost, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean,
unless they call for it, they might.
It
just
would be a
say,
rehost if they call for it. Are they just gonna? I guess they're just playing in a 4v5. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, I guess
I mean, they're 0 for 2 on defense, but they're 0 for 2. They're 0 for 2 on defense, and now in a 4v5. But sure, I guess.
Now they're gonna win this round and then just say he was the problem.
What was he playing too? Was he Wamai?
I think he might have been Wamai.
That sucks.
Whatever the stream catches up, I'll be able to tell you.
Okay.
Because for those, never mind. Clem gets the early kill on the Samwise, bringing it even lower.
That is the same rappel. That is the same rappel he did the early damage to Dez with.
Yep.
Just a different player on Jaeger. And there's another one.
Zephyr clapping back with a kill on Rithik. So much for the 300 IQ disconnect play.
And that
did not work out for them.
That's the opposite from what we saw in UW's attack when it was Rithik on Zofia and Zephyr on Mozzie. So the operators are swapped, but the kill still goes the same way. Good job to Zephyr. Actually no, I lied. I'm just dumb.
It happened.
It happened 2 rounds ago. I lied. Or did it? I don't know. Maybe.
All I know
like
is
I've been drinking, but like I don't drink.
Yeah. No, dude, it just happens. Tongue twisters, brain turn off. It's Friday.
Wow.
But
okay.
Just like I say that,
Dez's
brain got turned off as a piece of lead went straight through it, quickly followed by Chaotic going brain dead. Clem quickly finishing out the round there right as Tonsil Tennis rejoined.
He probably rejoined. It was like, hey guys, how'd that round go?
What I miss? Well, you know, not much happened. Got steamrolled.
Got creamed.
Yes. Yeah. We are now part of the pavement.
Pavement.
But one away from match point here for NEU here, and it's getting a little bit concerning for Waterloo here. This is their map pick, and you definitely want to put the best foot forward here, as it is a best of 2. So if you lose this first map, you're at best gonna get a tie.
There's draws?
Yes. Yes, there is.
I thought there's... Oh.
Yeah. Or
Wait, I
pro
thought
league,
this was
but
like
not
a.
quite pro
I
league.
thought this was like a tournament thing.
If I remember correctly, the rulebook's based off of BRR6, so it's best of 2,
Like-
no overtime.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it. It's like Challenger League.
Yeah.
I see.
Attackers need to locate
I
and
get it.
defuse bombs.
Gotta keep it streamlined.
Indeed.
But-
They're going. Why are they going back to AVG?
I guess just
Why?
really like the site.
No, why? I don't care how much they like it. Why? They have lost it twice. They got destroyed twice. Why are they? Why? I don't get it.
I mean, at this point, I think they're just trying to go for what their strengths are, or what they perceive to be their strengths as well.
Apparently
They
the
have
strength
lost
is
on it.
losing.
10 seconds to go.
Yikes. But anywho,
5
Like,
It is
all right,
gonna-
there's
maybe
a
they got
cardinal
some
rule.
kind of modification to the scrapbook, or they just
I mean,
like,
must locate
maybe we
There
just
is a
lost
bit of a
all of our aim
modification.
duels.
There is a bit of a modification. No Wamani, Mozzie. Instead, you've got Legion and Vigil. So I guess we've got. It's a little bit different. We'll see if it's enough to actually, win them around. As there is a cardinal rule that we always talk about in T3 and higher. When if you've lost a site twice in a row,
Yeah.
without the rounds even coming close,
Change it up.
you have absolutely no business going back there 3 times unless you're forced to.
Yeah.
Like, they still have Dining Kitchen. Like you
Mhm.
said, Dining Kitchen isn't, I mean, it's not a bad site. Like, I mean, it's not as good, but it's not bad. Like, if you're competent in your top hold or confident in your counter vertical play, then
Yeah.
you should be fine. That tells
the
me
hold
that
is-
maybe UW maybe aren't as confident on this map as they'd like to be.
Yeah, like in terms of just how you hold it, the second floor hold is actually the same way that you would hold. Not necessarily the same as a aviator hold, but judging how they've been holding up this Astra side so far, it is kind of similar to how they would be holding it. But right here, we will see an aggressive push from Rithik, quickly getting pushed off as he does retreat back to Classic. And with that, there is complete control for that, I believe, northern side of the map for the side of NEU. So it's getting off to a good start here as they have so much control already with actually not much pressure applied. It's literally just been walking forward for them so far. And actually, I think all of Waterloo is back on site with the lone smoke hanging out inside of 90 right now. And right as I say that, Chaotic actually gets taken down by, I believe, the smoke of 90. Yeah, the smoke takes down Chaotic, which is actually a kind of
Gap.
insane shot.
Aw.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, a long range fight with the SMG-11 that maybe he shouldn't have won. Maybe Chaotic just missed, but Llama Thrust certainly with good control over that secondary SMG. And there's only 55 seconds left. Sure, it's a 5-on-5. Lost HP on Chaotic. Dez gonna shoot out his own ADS, unfortunately, there, but there's 2 frags the way of NEU. Swiggity as well as Inquisition both tack on. That's 2 of your roamers dead. A C4 and the flank of the Vigil now quelled by the attack. 40 seconds on the board, and they'll have to start moving in soon. Again, they can play for the trades as they do hold a 5v3 advantage, but no walls have been opened yet by Chaotic. They're scared of the impact trick from the Legion, which they're actually going to open up themselves, curiously. Chaotic is just going to go for it, and I guess maybe Samwise was out of impacts, and the wall over Vault will go down. Dez kills Clem, though. The Capitao no longer on the board. Firebolts as well as smoke bolts no longer available, but there's 2 more frags for the defense, answered only by Swiggity. A 2 versus 2 plant has to come down in the dying seconds of the round. There's only 7 seconds, but Inquisition just pushing in. He'll get 2 from the Vault, and a huge round from the Gridlock, a 3K. Will win NEU's 3rd round on AVG. If UW go there one more time, I'm going to leave. I'm going to
Nobody
leave
expects
the
the Spanish
Discord call.
Inquisition there, honestly. He came flying through Vault.
Yeah, flying through his Gridlock, no less. That's
Okay,
not something we
they're
usually-
going trophy. They aren't going.
Thank
They have
Christ.
discovered the magical 3rd time is not the charm.
Didn't they lose trophy too?
I think they actually won trophy. Nope,
No,
I don't
they
think
haven't
actually
won- they
a
haven't won
single
since their
defense so
attack.
far. Yeah, because it was a 4-2
They
half. They haven't
lost
won it in.
AVG 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, they lost trophy. So they still haven't gone dining. I mean, at this point, I'd be like, screw it, full out living room. You have to have a strat made for living room, right? Like the only reason why teams win living room is because teams don't know how to attack living room.
Yeah. They're like, why are you picking
They're so like rarely played that everyone's like, oh crap. Well, now what the hell do we do?
Yeah.
I know there's a couple teams at both the pro level and the T3 level that kind of like thrive off of that. Well, I know like the Frenchies, Team Nobu, they're the offsite team. Like they'll go like living room library first, they'll go bathroom tellers first. Well, when Border was still in the pool, they play both the middle floor sites on Oregon more than they play basement and top. Like they do that kind of stuff, and it's cool.
To be fair,
I mean,
bathroom tellers is actually a fun site to hold. You just hold the second
great,
floor entirely.
yeah,
you make
all
a
you do-
box and hold that second floor like you're going at your life depends on it.
yeah. So, I mean, you just hold it harder than you normally would when you're holding armory lockers. So,
As long as you keep that little soda machine area locked down, you're pretty set because that's the only place it's hard to see. You just open up a couple holes in the ceiling, you're good to go. But anyways, getting back.
Do UW finally win a defense after,
I think this is the round?
4 rounds straight?
Personally, no.
Call it right now.
I don't think so, and this is
No?
my logic. So basically, my logic right now is that they have actually
your
not
defense
shown
suck?
much of an ability to actually hold these rooms. They just keep falling off of them really, really early. It's either they fall off of the room really early without actually taking any pressure, and actually Vigil gets to spam through the wall, so that's already a great start to the room.
Yeah. Wow.
Just
Do we need to check the moss?
no, I think there was a drone in there, but and because you know,
I know, I was just kidding.
Swiggity quickly starting things off though with a headshot on the Dez, putting down half the roam there.
Dude, Swiggity's nuts. He kind of sucked on the defense, but now he's like he flipped a switch. He's like, man, there's no Ash on defense. But now he's running things up. He's on double digits. The Vigil that felled their Ash main gets refragged by the likes of both, I believe, Zephyr and Chaotic moving in. And there's another one for Zephyr, 2 on the round, but the Thermite falls. So they get 3 of the roamers, but they trade out their Thermite. However, I would say, now normally I would say, this is UW's chance to finally win a round. The roam wasted more time. That was a minute 20. A minute 20 for 3 players, one of them being a C4? That's not great. I mean, at least you've still got your Omai. There is a Capitao on the board, and Omai being the only counter, he's just sitting quietly in the site, slowly regenerating his magnets through time. He's waiting for his chance to capture some of the enemy's utility. And they've still got a C4 on the side of the Bandit, though, but the melee hole is going to get spotted out, and Zephyr's definitely not going to be caught off guard by those. Llama Thrust will take a single bullet to the shoulder for his trouble. Barbed Wire now on the doorway, going to get broken, but there's Llama Thrust with a frag of his own, taking down Zephyr, and another one for the Womai. 2! It's all up to Spanish Inquisition in the 1 versus 2 clutch. He's 8-6. He showed up last round. He's going to have to show up here as well in order to close this map out for his team. Watching over towards Astro, he knows that's where the Womai is positioned. He's trying to bait out the peak. He's got 40 seconds, so, he's got a fair bit of time. He can afford to wait just a little bit longer, but with no track stingers either, he's not going to be able to easily flush out any defender positions, nor is he going to be able to cover the post plant. Smoke Grenade going to get captured by the Magnet as well as he rotates over towards the other site, where now he'll have to contest a different player. It's going to be the Bandit of Samwise, who's actually positioned himself over towards the single panel wall in Astro. Spanish Inquisition just has not been gifted any picks. You just can't make this happen. UW have played the time so well. But no, they don't know he's planting. Only 2 seconds left. They're not going to contest it. Now it's a post plant. Sure, they have man count advantage, but they have to push into the gridlock. And with low HP on the Womai, they might not be able to play for a trade as effectively. It's also in a perfect post plant position, but here's the flank from the Womai. It's caught out, but there's the trade. There's Samwise. The pincer move on the gridlock works out, and there we go. UW, after 4 rounds, will finally take their first defense.
Defender mission successful.
And they got very, very dangerous there for UW there, as they started off in a, I believe, 4v2 situation. Or 3, I think it might have been a 3v2 actually. But either way,
yeah
3v2. Yeah, and Womai absolutely mowed them down through the front door, and it actually ended up working out pretty much solely based off of the fact that Womai with Llama Thrust just absolutely mowing down their bringing it immediately to a 1v2, and honestly, that the plant actually I take back them not knowing, they might have actually known and just decided, okay, so there's one person left. He's more than likely going to be either sitting red stairs or on the side of connector where he was. So just wait for him to plant. He can only go so many different places, and we have the man advantage. We can double peek him and get as much value out of that peek as we can. And I think that's what they ended up doing. Like, they ended up doing that with just trying to double peek him so that he couldn't take both sides. He got the kill onto Amai, but immediately after got traded by that bandit. So definitely a good closing out of that round when it looked so dire for them at the beginning.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just didn't have any tracks left in his pocket. The smoke grenade getting caught as well. Things not going the gridlock's way in the 1 versus 2. An excellent double kill by Llama Thrust, killing both players pushing connector. I'm not quite sure why they stacked up. Because, I mean, challenging the Astro Wall... I'd say it's probably a little more difficult than challenging whoever's playing behind the bomb chassis and statue. Like, if you stack up 3 players on that, you're gonna get a replay.
Yeah.
So, Spanish Inquisition, I guess, just not wanting to play the gridlock again. He's gonna be Monty. He's gonna have that indestructible shield right in front of him, but he's got to be wary of that pre-play C4 by the bandit. Now, Mr. Spectator, Mr. Kazzer, if you can go pan the camera upstairs.
Oh, here's it.
Right. Forward a little bit.
It's in the hallway.
To the right. Yeah, like there. Around there, that's where that C4 is placed. Now, you can bet your ass, if it's a master push, someone's going to be standing there. Usually, that's the position in which you see someone take out the 90 cam. So a lot of times, when the 90 cam is taken out, you just say, oh, bink, hit the C4, and 9 times out of 10, you kill someone. It's one of those really, really common pre-plays, almost like the control room pre-plays on Theme Park, the admin pre-plays on Consulate, stuff like that. It's really common. So, who was it? I think it was Samwise, who's currently playing on site, that did that. Yeah. C4. Yeah, so he's watching 90 cam like a hawk.
Ooh, Rithik taking a lot of damage, actually. I believe that was actually from Swiggity taking him down very low, if I can identify gun sounds correctly, and he'll be forced back to site as he only has a sliver of life left on him. But Mozzie is playing on those Astro Stairs, so if they don't, if any U doesn't actually clear out that Astro Stairs well enough, there actually might be flank potential there. But Swiggity quickly saying, nah, I got this, killing Llama Thrust, bringing down the Wamai, making sure that there are no more magnets thrown up. I think he was actually hanging out 90, if I recall correctly. No, never mind.
No? Alright. I have no clue where that Wamai died. And the C4, I think we heard go off. I mean, that's probably what's going to prompt Spanish Inquisition and Zephyr to push up. So unfortunately, Samwise is not going to find stock.
Oh, wow. That. Okay.
Oh, it was in the site from...
Red
from Red. Okay, so that's where he killed him. Wow, that's unfortunate for the Wamai.
Yep, there's the Nitro.
Yep, and Rithik is... Oh, okay, it was actually in connector, not the hallway. Well, that's weird. And Rithik is also still very low HP, so he'll die to 1 bullet, even like 1 stray bullet from the hip fire of the Mopsy will bring him down. But here's a flank from Tonsil Tennis. Swiggity seems to know about it, but he doesn't know quite where the Mozzie is, and there we go. He'll flip around and drop the head of the Mozzie. And that's 2 picks now for the Ash. Swiggity has woken up on this attacking half, and there really isn't a player that we can pin these wins on more than that Ash. Clem gonna take out Rithik as well, finishing off that low HP Vigil, and it's all Dez and Samwise, no utility in their pockets. Zephyr drops the Jaeger, it's Samwise in a 1 versus 5, stuck behind the bar. Plant goes down from Chaotic, it's a post plant with a Monty, and it's Zephyr from Bolt to finish him off. And NEU will take Villa flawlessly on round number 12.
Yeah, and a lot of things going really, really well for NEU on that half there for them, as Swiggity just came online, just going absolutely frat god mode, showing that Ash is actually a force to be reckoned with, regardless of the fact that she actually has a hitbox now, despite popular belief. Showing that with 15 frags, he's here to stay and here to carry. Absolutely throwing his team over the finish line with that Ash. And for that, we'll be going on to map 2, and I believe 5 minutes if these teams decide they need a 5-minute break. And
what was map 2 again?
Map 2 is going to be Cafe.
Cafe. Villa and then Cafe. So 3-tier maps. And
we're 5-minute bio break. So before we head over to break for that, we do want to give a shout out to our sponsors. We actually have 3 coming in for you guys. We got, as I was saying earlier, we got Rogue Energy supplying us with some nice
Oh, that wasn't a
Rogue
meme?
Energy powders. It was not a meme.
Oh, I
We
see. I
have
thought you were
Rogue
just me.
Nah, dude. Rogue Energy, code CEA at checkout for 10% off your entire order. They got some pretty baller flavors out there. And also we got Corsair coming in as a sponsor. For as recently as last season, they are a computer parts manufacturer as well as gaming gear manufacturer coming in helping us with some of our giveaways. And also What's New.gg, which is our apparel sponsor, having some of the apparel of some of the teams actually in this league, as well as our own CEA merch. We have some pretty baller track mouse pads, which look pretty cool if you want to go check those out. And just want to give a thanks to all of our sponsors making this league possible, and also a thank to our wonderful, wonderful viewers making sure that we can enjoy our jobs as much as possible. And with that, we will go to break and see you in the next map. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to some Friday Night Siege between University of Waterloo and Northeastern Sports Club. And we are getting into the second map of this series, which is going to be Kastei Dostoyevsky with, I believe, NEU attacking first, if my notes are correct. And joined here by my co-caster Crow. Yep, and we will be getting into the second map, and we will be getting into very shortly as both of these teams are hitting the R's for ready.
Yeah.
And with NEU actually taking the first map, this is NEU's pick. So in theory, they should take this map home and bring the 2-0 for the dub, but it remains to be seen.
And you said NEU is Northeastern Sports Club?
Yes, I believe. Northeastern Club Sports.
What
Mixed up two words.
What is a sports?
What are sports? I don't know. I think it's like some activity.
Listen,
That's
I don't
competitive.
I don't know what a sports is. All I know is I know esports, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know.
And if there's a hyphen for you, you're wrong.
Yeah, that's just incorrect, man. It's one word. It's like a sports, but it's a long E. But EW are gonna get rid of Jackal, a very ranked ban.
Yep.
That's how I know they're gonna lose the map. NEU with the next one, likely either Thatcher or Capitao, probably. I would imagine. I would be shocked if it's not one of those two. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yep, Thatcher gets banned everywhere.
Get out of here, you redcoat.
Yep.
Tea drinking.
Despite being based off of one of the most badass SAS operators of all time.
What else can we call British people? Tea drinkers.
I'd probably stop before we got too deep into things. But
do you think Thatcher has bad teeth?
Oh my God.
Actually, no, they wouldn't let him in the military,
Cinematics.
right? They actually wouldn't let him in the military if he had bad teeth, I think.
Something like that. But Mira coming out for this first defender ban. Interesting for Cafe, but I can see where it would come in. Very quick ban coming in from NEU, or pardon me, Waterloo. Castle.
Oh, Castle. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Mira, Cafe is probably one of Mira's best maps, all in all, just because she's super good for holding, like, back by cocktail. You know, you put a Mira window on the cocktail wall, on, like, the right side cocktail wall, if you're standing inside a cocktail looking towards bar, that right side wall, and then you put one on freezer, open up the freezer wall into piano, and you hold that long angle. And it's real good. And Mira is just real good, and people don't want to deal with that. Now, the Castle ban is really cool. Castle also finds a lot of use on Cafe. He's really good for Cigar, where you can, castle off, or sorry, not Cigar. He's really good for a bar defense where you can castle off Cigar, you can castle off White, you can castle off the White window, you can do a bunch of things with Castle. On Kitchen, you can castle off Bar, castle off VIP, kind of herd the attackers over towards Carpet.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
and even when you're defending Reading, you can put the castle barricades upstairs, and in freezer, or on the cigar door again, or on bathroom. So Castle's real good. We don't usually see Castle bans, but I guess because Echo's not in play, that kind of frees you up to do some other stuff. So Castle's no longer available. So I guess that kind of alleviates a bit of the utility meta. Makes maybe it a little bit easier to deal with Homai and Jaeger and Goyo and all those annoying operators. So
10 seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, and especially Castle is one of the stronger operators, despite his
5 seconds remaining.
perception as being kind of a dog operator.
We don't listen to calls.
Yeah. But he actually does have quite a strong presence, especially on this map, as we were saying, with the reading holds with castle gates upstairs or downstairs, actually. We actually do see a common castle spot being actually that reading door leading out towards the first floor balcony, where a lot of people actually tend to run out. And once you castle that entire side, it forces them to actually either break down the castlecade, which makes them burn utility, or makes them come up through the white stairs area going over towards that red hallway, or just having to force their way through pillars and get stuff done and try to open up that wall. Either way, very strong, as it forces them to burn some form of utility or walk into a kill line. And right now we actually see Rithik on Valkyrie hanging out near bottom of White Stairs, looking to see if he can get anybody going up on the rappel towards the roof, but does not see anyone right now as no one is on that side of the map. Most people coming up through the AC vent area. Excuse me. And right now we're just kind of ticking down the clock as just information's going down. Not much combat actually being taken out here. Just kind of trades of sprays more than anything else. And as I say that, Dez takes about half his HP almost right off the bat. And he's just peeking a window where Zephyr is just waiting for him. Just kind of poking the bear a little bit there. And getting away with his life, but also pressure taken down from that top of that skylight, and we will see Valkyrie starting to roam back upstairs.
So Rithik, if left unchecked, of course, could come up for a pretty big flank, but of course they, you know, if they're diligent in their drone work, they should have a flank drone over there or a claymore to stop him from ascending those stairs for free, as now the Omai is trying to get flushed out of Pixel spot, but they've still got to deal with Dez and the Cigar. They can't just push Pixel for free. There's Swiggity trying to peek around the Humanoid. He'll get Dez as well as a nade to clean up Samwise on the Womai, the anti-projectile operator, getting killed by a projectile. How ironic. And now it's all Llama Thrust, Riddick, and Tonsil Tennis. I hate these names, man. In the 3 versus 5. Evil Eye gonna get fragged out as well. The Valkyrie's head gets spotted by Zephyr, but he can't quite capitalize on the shot just yet. But only 45 seconds left. That's time's starting to get to the crunch period where the attackers have to move in soon, especially with operators on the board such as the C4s of Rithik and Tonsil Tennis, as well as the Alda on the Maestro. Things could get a little hairy, but Inquisition is just never mind. I said that, and then the plant went down for free. Zephyr frags out Rithik, Clem drops Tonsil Tennis. It's a 1 versus 5. Llama Thrust can't even find one just yet. A lot of full HP attackers as well, and as he turns his back away to rotate, Clem will find the back of his head, and NEU will take round 1 flawlessly.
Yeah, it looked like there was some kind of miscommunication from the defense there, as the wall was open and the plane started to go down, but no actual movements were made towards it. My shirt had started spraying the wall, and like I don't know if smoke had died by that point. I think there was a smoke last round. There was not. They did not. They decided to go.
No, yeah. Jaeger, Wamai, Maestro, Valkyrie, Mute.
Yes, and so I take that back, but still miscommunications regardless, as there was no active like push for getting like diffuser off, as Maestro just kind of started spamming instead of trying to go through freezer to at least get a little bit done. Just really awkward pushes, and also a little bit of miscommunication from the side of NEU there, as they actually burned both a Zofia and a frag grenade from Sledge to take out the singular Maestro cam. I don't know if that was just for being sure it's gone, or just not communicating who was taking out what. But we will see a return to the 3rd floor bar site for this Waterloo squad, seeing if they can get a little bit of a better hold here. Opting to reinforce the wall into Cigar, it looks like. Just opting not to have to deal with that ever again. Don't know if that was a mistake from last round, or if they decided, you know what, screw it, we're just going to reinforce, not have to deal with it. We shall see, but regardless, it is getting a little bit cheeky for the side of Waterloo. I hope that they're actually... Oh, maybe a spawn pick coming in here.
No, he's prepping the run out, I think. I think he wants to run out.
If there's a run out there, I'll be surprised.
I mean, he prepped it.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
dude, Maestro. I want Llama to run out. Run out with a bailiff.
Oh no, I don't think he broke. I don't like the Maestro camp put there. Not gonna lie. Because I don't think it breaks the glass on that thing.
I think if it's on the like the wood part. Oh no, it's not on the wood part.
Yeah.
It's just straight up on the glass. Yikes.
That's awkward.
Well, hopefully.
Out. Inquisition almost lost his head there.
Bro.
He's like, oh heck.
Bro. Wow, what a reaction from the Sledge. Holy crap.
If he had died there, I think he would have just like fell out of the server just like from a heart attack. But Swiggity getting taken out early here by that Vigil, getting taken out on Brown Stairs. So the top frag for this NEU squad has been taken down, but not out so far. So he may get rezzed, but doesn't look like his team is going to be able to provide much help as of now. but I'm pretty sure Spanish Inquisition is still shell-shocked, almost getting his head ripped off through a hatch to help. Nope, does actually manage to burn.
Well, that was actually. It was a C4 that came out. That's what he
Really?
shot. Yeah, that's what he
Oh.
shot. It was a C4 came through the hatch, and he shot it like just as it landed on the roof, and he was like,
Oh.
"Holy shit!" But there's Clem to find Llama Thrust, so a 1-for-1 trade so far from these teams. But time currently, I'd say probably on UW's side, as any of you have yet to even open the red wall. There's still, I believe, bandit batteries on it. They haven't gone over to the. Almost used the rank call out for it. The mini bar position. I don't know why they haven't gone on the rappel yet, as the bandit Dez just decides he's gonna wide swing and take the head off Clem. Spanish Inquisition though refrags on Rithik trying to flanch. What? I just said flanch.
Are they bandit tricking red?
I mean, he's gotta be. He's a madman if he does. Like no one's on the mini bar rappel. Go on the rappel. All you have to do is repel, and then the bandit will stop playing there. But it's, I mean, there's only 42 seconds left. It's far too late now. It's tonsil tennis from Newbalk, I guess, just peeking over and drops 2. It's Spanish Inquisition in a 1 versus 3. He's got 1 kill. He had a fantastic shot on a C4, but okay, I guess all of his aim in that round was used on the C4 through the hatch, as tonsil tennis gets his 3rd, and they'll take a round back for UW.
He had probably so much adrenaline in his system he couldn't keep his hands steady. Just the total adrenaline jump after that C4 shot.
Mean, understandable.
Yeah, even he typed in chat like my heart. I would be shaking after that. You have a hatch get destroyed, and all of a sudden a nitro comes flying at you from the spot below. He's probably a little bit shaky there, which I can excuse for that one round, but hopefully he manages to settle his nerves as he comes into this next round. As now it is a 1-1 tie-up for these squads, and we will actually be seeing the Mozzie coming out here, which isn't a new operator for this Waterloo side here for this map, which granted has been 2 rounds, but Mozzie is one of those operators, if used correctly, can actually provide a large amount of intel, especially when comboed with Maestro on those cams and the denial of Vigil. So you can definitely manage to micro that Vigil around and make sure that he has open sightlines to get into those flank positions, which is where he really starts to shine.
Bomb located by attackers.
Well, we'll see what happens. Is already, I guess, UW have a better record on their defense than they did on Villa. So yeah,
we made it. Woo!
Good job. Woo! You got 1 round within the first 2 instead of 1 round after 4.
Yeah.
Good job. That's what we call improvement. So it's only, well, I was gonna say it's only upward from here, but I mean they could still lose 4 rounds in a row.
Yep.
That would suck.
Yeah, it would.
That would be awful. Okay, the skylight gonna get tested apparently.
I can see it. A lot of people, when they decide to do the top floor vertical clear, just going from top to bottom,
Yeah,
do
just
like
kind of chuck a drone.
Yeah, and you'll probably get 1 or 2 drones off just the default
Actually,
place on the 3rd floor.
Depending on where it bounces too, you could probably get away with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the way you actually. Oh,
Oh.
Dez quickly getting a kill onto Zephyr. I don't know if that was through the skylight.
Ooh, repel?
Oh,
repel. Piano repel.
Yeah, that was
Good
actually
night.
a long shot though. If he was where I thought he was, I think he might have actually been way off. But Dez getting a nice kill to start out here, taking down the Zofia here. Quite a good kill to get in the beginning. But now we have Rithik, maybe going for Hatch.
Zephyr was also, I think he was one of the top fraggers last map. Of course, not nearly as many as Swiggity, but I think he was still doing pretty well for himself. But that's utility off the board, you know, with a Wamai and a Maestro on the table for the defense. Losing any kind of projectile-focused operator like a Zofia is going to spell trouble. But you got Rithik and Dez currently on a 1-1 roam. Dez upstairs currently getting pressured by Swiggity, though. And we know how well Swiggity has been playing. If he checks the angle, that'll likely be the death of the Mozzie, but he loses the fight. He pre-fires the corner and still can't find Dez. Clem, though, finds 1 and 2. Both the roamers dead now. Mozzie and Vigil off the board. You lose, or sorry, not the Vigil. It's actually a Doc. Tonsil Tennis pushing 90 Hall.
Vigil
There's
died.
the Vigil as Chaotic flanks over towards red and mining. So, I mean, it's taken a fair bit of time, but you come out of the trade in the advantage if you're the attack. Losing an Ashe and a Zofia for 3 bodies.
Located a bomb.
I think if there's anyone on the attack that you were gonna lose for those 3, I'd say it's probably the Ashe and the Zofia. Because I mean, Maverick still got nades, Sledge still has nades. You need that soft destruction, you need the hard destruction as well. So all in all, still a pretty decent position there for NEU as Llama, I guess, protected by a counter or a railing there. Gonna not eat any damage from that pre-fire, even though it looked like it was right on him. Spanish Inquisition just going to work on the floor beneath, trying to flush out common anchor positions as the Wamai, though still holding firm on to Bakery. However, that position will likely be inconsequential as Chaotic will now open the freezer. Llama Thrust, really right now the only player in direct contact with this breach. Pre-firing around though, he'll drop Chaotic on the Thermite as well as the Diffuser, but there's the flank. Spanish Inquisition coming in from Whiskey, drops the Maestro. 1 versus 2 for Samwise, though Clem is lit up, but hitting the plant, there's no anti-plant utility here for the Wamai. He's gonna have to win this straight-up gunfight, but Spanish Inquisition will be better in that engagement, and NEU will retake their lead 2-1.
Yeah, I was gonna make a comment about dry peeking from the Ashe, but it turns out Ashe actually has
Dry
breaching charges.
peeking?
Just not flashing it. Dry peeking.
I've never heard that before.
It's a Counter-Strike term, but basically
is it? Okay.
It's just wide peeking into it without actually flashing or anything.
Okay.
Just not using utility.
Well, because he knew he was there, so he wasn't
Yeah.
like. Cause I thought you meant face peeking for a second.
No.
That's different, apparently.
Yeah.
Because like he wasn't just face checking. Like he knew he was there. Pre-fires with the R4C
Yeah.
and
still
loses
lost.
the fight. That was
It's just one of those unfortunate circumstances, just not being able to land your shots. Because you can know like exactly where someone is, but if it's a solid wall between you and them, it comes down to whose reaction time's faster. In terms of actually just hitting it and how accurate you are with that pre-fire. But getting into this 4th round here, same setup almost, as I say, as Kaid actually makes an appearance for this round.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I can see
no,
it
they haven't
working.
brought him yet, right?
No,
I don't
they
think
didn't bring him
brought
last round. Last round it was the Vigil, not Vigil.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if they brought him. They didn't bring him the very first round, so.
No, they got Doc
Yeah.
getting swapped out here for the Kaid, which I agree with. Doc is one of those operators where he's very hit or miss in the way that literally he hits or misses at his
Hit or
entire
miss.
kit. He is very. Stop it.
Oh,
But Doc is very much a frag operator, despite the fact that his gadget is a heal. He has one of the few ACOGs on defense, especially after Maestro got his removed. Which, I mean, I don't think nerfed him too much, seeing how his gun is still a lawnmower. It's filthy regardless. But we will see Kaid. I don't know what he's trying to do here. Is he trying to electrify the hatch as well?
Wait, did you say it's filthy?
The Alda? Yes.
No, filthy's on Pudge.
Okay. Anyhow.
Oh wait, no, I lied. He got dropped. I forgot. He was on PogChamp very briefly. I think he got dropped for Sweater. Anyway. Swiggity's having a slower start than we're used to seeing. I mean, he's only died twice, but he's only got 1 frag. Right now, it appears it's Clem's turn. As wow, as I say his name, he'll get his 6th kill of the game, just wall-banging tonsil tennis. So the Vigil off the board with less than 45 seconds off the clock, and unfortunate for Dez, the lamp obscuring his vision, and Swiggity will capitalize, and that's 2 roamers off the board in less than a minute. If UW win this round, I have no words for NEU, because with a roam clear like that, and with the amount of time you have left, and the really minimal utility you sacrificed, I don't think they used like 2 shotgun shells from Buck in that clear, and that was about it. You have way more than enough tools and manpower to take this site easily, especially with the bakery wall open. You rotate to a freezer push, that is easy.
It does seem though like they want this bakery side, which is no.
The hatch is unreinforced?
Huh?
There's no way they lose this round, right? And the electric claw gone.
I mean,
Kaid
in
not in a
theory,
position.
there's no way because just misplays. I don't know if I should say misplays. Maybe that's part of the plan that's reinforced.
Weird
but I don't know why.
Yeah.
Misplaced hatch because they definitely had enough hatches. Someone I think didn't reinforce at all to make that happen.
I bet it was Tonsil, because he's visual. It's always the visual players.
Yeah, roamers. So selfish. But
always them, man. It's like when Cav leaves without picking up her armor. It's like, what the hell,
Yeah.
man? But Llama Thrust through the floor will kill Zephyr. Zephyr, unfortunately, both him and Swiggity have had a pretty quiet cafe so far, and then Maestro's gonna decide it's a great idea to walk back into Freezer. And there's Clem with a 7 kill over by the Whiskey Double Door. Hill fell. I believe that was Samwise on the Wamai. It's a 1 versus 4 for Rithik on barely any HP, armed with only an AUG. Plant going down by Chaotic as well. It will be completed, but Clem gets felled. A fantastic shot there by the Kaid. But on the flank is Swiggity. Nearly hits the head of Rithik, but whiffs the shot. But there it is on the re-peak. Rithik tries to re-engage, but Swiggity's on top of it. And NEU will take round number 4, and they'll effectively... I mean, on Cafe, they'll effectively win the hat. At minimum.
Definitely putting them in an advantageous position here to close out this map here. Is if they get one more round on this, they could potentially be looking at a 5-1 half, which would be absolutely insane as the band waves comes through. That's a lot of names. Hey, okay. It's not the longest band wave, but still, that's quite a few. The Prune, as some might say, but Return of the Dock is apparently the play for Rithik here as they go into the 3rd floor bar hold yet again. Same lineup as last time for the attacking side of NEU, which has worked so far for them. So I don't, if it, you know how they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's the master key. A lot of times, you know, you'll have like one attacker lineup that just works for every site. So you might as well. There's really nothing drastic you need to bring. I mean, I guarantee it's going to be performance-based too. Like, you know, if UW get a nasty flank on NEU, you know, maybe they'll swap out, swap someone out for Gridlock or something, you know, something along those lines. Oh, Swiggity played Ash in the round he whiffed. Now he's on the buck.
He's like, you know what? One map of Ash ownage was enough. Let me change operators, open my op pool.
He's like, all right, guys, I'm tired. I'm gonna sit back.
10 seconds to go.
You guys take this one. It's okay. I did my work.
It's Clem's turn.
Yeah. Clem honestly pulling mad work though. 7-0-2 for his squad right now, making sure that at least 4 rounds. He is making sure that his team has some kind of advantage at all times, especially as you're playing as a hard breacher. Well, hard breacher in kind of quotes, but as Maverick is
default.
Default. Okay.
Shoot the default, please. All right, you're just not gonna shoot the default.
Yep. Interesting. There we go.
He's gonna wait till he repelled. There we go. I love the debris.
I love the debris for the hatch kill because that thing goes flying. I don't know at what speed Sledge hits that, but the debris goes everywhere.
Have you seen the? I was gonna make a joke. I don't know if you know the. Have you seen how hard you have to slap a chicken to cook it in one hit?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's how fast Sledge is hitting the hatches.
Because he has to have at least like 3 rocket boosters to make just physics do not agree with how he hits that.
Like you know Reinhardt's tank in Overwatch.
Yeah, just the rocket powered hammer.
Yeah.
Like by all rhymes and reasons, the debris should go down, but instead it's going up at a velocity that should not be achievable with the downward.
Yeah, listen. With every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Law apparently does not apply.
Yeah. But Swiggity is taking a fight over the mini bar against, I believe that's Dez on the Mozzie, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Hitting the prone, but he'll quickly get headshotted. Unfortunately, the angle not going to work out for the Mozzie as Swiggity spots him before he sees the buck. Now, Samwise, the last member of this defense inside a piano, playing with a shield as the Wamai. You know, that's usually what we see. The pixel spot being played by the regenerating magnets. But Samwise will quickly get flushed off as all the magnets are currently being burnt, and the shield will soon follow. At least I assume so. Okay, there's still an ADS up. That's probably why. But Tonsil Tennis... Actually, Tonsil Tennis is below. Where's Tonsil Tennis? What's he doing? I think he's going up red? I thought I saw him below. Yeah, okay. He's trying to play for a flank. Clem's got a drone downstairs, I think. So it's going to come up and spot the Jaeger in the red hallway. The Jaeger Okay, no, he got droned out by someone else. So he's going to fall back over towards the carpet over in 90, and he'll just be downstairs. So that's definitely something that the attack is going to have to worry about. You got the flank watch of Swiggity. He spots the leg for a second, and he is more than ready for that fight. The freest kill of his life, and Tonsil Tennis goes down. 2 frags unanswered from NEU, both coming off the back of the buck, as the freezer wall gets opened as well. 23 seconds left as push starts to come to shove, as now Clem gets dropped, unfortunately not finding a kill in this round. The Maestro hitting the deck with another on a Chaotic, dropping the hard breacher as well as your primary planter. Now with only 10 seconds left, an even man count. Rithik drops Swiggity. There's only 2 players left for the attack still up. Spanish Inquisition goes huge with 2 seconds left. The plant being completed, and no, the Doc just narrowly misses the shots on the planting Zofia, and Spanish Inquisition, to add insult to injury, finishes him off with the sledgehammer. There's the meaty thwack that we all love. That's 4 rounds.
That literally could have gone anyone's way, because Doc knew where the planter was. There wasn't enough time. Like, if he had gone down, he would have entered his res phase, and he would have won while downed if he had downed the planter, because they had no one close enough to actually plant if the diffuser had gone down. Like, the planter had gone down. So it was literally a do-or-die moment. He was milliseconds from winning that round for his team.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. And remember when I said after they won the first round, after UW took their first round, the only way it could go worse than last map is if they lost 4 in a row?
Yeah, here we are.
It's been 3. They still have they got 1 more round to redeem themselves. They got 1 more. And it's going to be a defense of reading. They swapped it. I am so proud of them right now. You have no idea. Thank you so much for swapping your site.
Because clearly, while they did have a very nice last hold there up on the third floor, pardon me, it does come down to the fact that while they do need to swap up something here, because they are down 1-4 in round 6, they are looking at a potential 5-1.5 against them, which means that 2 rounds on defense and they lose. Like, they are 2 rounds from losing that on that half. They are 2 rounds from losing the map, losing the match. They needed to switch up something, and this is a start. While they only have 1 round on defense left, which is arguably the easier side for this map, definitely gotta kick it into high gear here as they go into this last round of the half.
Yeah, like you said, they gotta show us something, because UW after round 2 have not had as much life as I think we really expected them to, or as they want to. You know, as they've kind of a lot of times just kind of fallen by the wayside. But there it is. That might be the spark that we need, as Dez will run out onto Zephyr. Zephyr has just been so unlucky.
Yeah,
what's his score? What's his scoreline right now?
Zephyr is currently 1-3-4, so the unfortunate circumstances befalling him this match are clearly reflected in his KD, as he's just been getting picked off on the rappel in the most inopportune situations, pretty much right off of spawn almost. Like, you could technically qualify some of these deaths that he's taking as spawn kills.
It sucks because when you're dying over and over again, not because you're straight up losing fights, but just due to bad timing.
Yeah.
Like, that is so tilting. Like, you just can't play, because you can't even be like, man, I'm losing these fights because my game's off, I'm not hitting shots. Wait, he just hasn't been able to play the game.
Yeah, and that's, he doesn't
sucks.
See the people that are killing him.
Yeah, because you don't have the solace of I can improve on this. It's more like, my timing is bad right now.
Just gotta take the lumps.
There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the attackers are... Swiggity nearly TKs, but the attackers have completely ignored this top control because they're actually going for dining. And there's no way you can vertically deny this. It's a free play for Chaotic, site control all in the hands of the attack, and UW are none the wiser. Now a post plan as Swiggity Swooty can actually play vertically for this diffuser from below, but there's Des with another kill. Second on the round for him as he drops Clem, a 5 versus 3. Now UW in the mankind advantage, but again, post plan. for NEU. 20 seconds left for a defender to hop on this counter, whereas Llama is just going to completely destroy Spanish Inquisition. The vertical angle, though, being played by Swiggity is going to prompt the Maestro to lift off, but there's Samwise on the trade. It's a 1 versus 4 for Swiggity. He knows he can play below. He's going to get challenged. Drop one, can't find the other, as literally every player on the defense peeks them all at once, and there's the redemption story from UW. A bit of a hairy round there, as NEU were granted absolutely free site control, but the retake from UW played very well, winning their fights. An excellent pinch on those last two players, and it's a 4-2 half at the split.
Yeah, it actually took me a moment to register that was actually the site, because there was just no resistance getting into the
they
site.
Just crouch walked in.
Yeah, he opened up sledge holes on the other side and just walked into site and planted. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh, they're like, okay, they got fireplace control. Now they just got to make their way over to reading. And I was like, wait a second, that's part of the site. Where is everyone?
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. But you know, they're gonna take it in the retake. So good job.
Yeah.
There we go. They redeemed themselves. And Bar Cocktail going to be the first one from NEU, employing a very similar lineup, but they're going to be bringing the Goyo in place of the Castle. And that's going to combo with the Wamaya, the Jaeger, and the Maestro, and even the Mute quite well. Denial is definitely the name of the game here for NEU.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
Definitely, if they can make this comp work with all this plant denial, and also on top of that, just the gadget denial in the first place, it could be a very good start to the half for them, as they definitely have the operator set up here to actually do great things, as they do have the Goyo with the shields, they have the Wamai and the Jaeger, so basically you have so much projectile denial, especially against the team that actually has a load of projectiles. Like, you have the Habana with the pellets, you have the Zofia with both her gadget and her nade, or not, with both her gadget, and then also the flashbangs on Ash, as well as the gadget of Ash, and also I believe they take the track stinger projectile throwable of the gridlock as well, and also just nades on top of, like, there's so many projectiles to be burned here by these ADSs and these magnets that I'm very, very curious to see how the attackers are actually able to work their way around this, as if you get one too many of your nades taken off, that's just gonna make your life so much harder when you actually have to push that side on that final execute.
Oh, the bathroom shield. They're doing the So this is popularized, I believe, by both Latin America and SSG, where you open the wall kind of like around the shield, and you play with it almost like a pseudo mirror in the bathroom. So it's definitely a very powerful position, and of course, when you've got support from another shield in Pixel, that becomes a very hard to flush out location. And against both the TCSG and the Wamai, that's definitely going to be a tall task for the attack, as well as a lot of investment of utility into taking those two players off. For the Wamai, it looks like he may have abandoned the position. I would assume he's going to eventually go back, as the Hibana actually whiffs the first shot of X-Kairos, and it unfortunately clips the hatch. And now she's only going to be left with one.
Yeah, unfortunate
Yikes.
to see is that is just so much utility loss. Is with you only get 3 of those Habana charges, and losing one basically means that you have just one less sightline to open, as it takes 2 to crouch through, and 3 to walk through. But Zephyr quickly gets 2 onto Llama Thrust and Dez, absolutely doing mad work for his squad right now, making sure that they get that early man advantage with taking out both Ash and Gridlock. That's a lot of utility that's taken off the board, as I don't think either of those players actually got a single piece of utility off, so that's a lot of unspent utility that's taken off the board right at the start here, leaving only that Zofia and Sledge for that soft breach, but no more of that rotate watch that we were talking about earlier with those track stingers, and also no strong post plant with those track stingers either. But we will see one on the cocktail window. Might get caught out here a little bit if one of the NEU players peeks a little bit further with Clem on that TCSG, but does not peek it anyways. And we do have one pushing into jewelry. No sight lines on any of the other players so far, but it is going to get a little bit down to crunch time here as 38 seconds ticks by on the clock. One is inside of bar right now. Might get a peek on Horrific here. 2 people actually inside of bar right now. Many players inside of this bar cigar area, and it is getting more. Ooh, almost takes off the head of Zofia, but will miss the shot. will, at the very least, take some trade damage in the back, but Zephyr gets third kill on a Samwise, making sure that the third man, he's on a triple kill right now, but quickly Swiggity Smoothie comes to the booty of Tonsil Tennis, making sure that he goes down very quickly, and the round quickly ended by Zephyr with the flawless round coming through for NEU, and giving them their 5th round of the map. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
How did Jaeger get all the way over there?
I don't know.
So 1, how did Jaeger get all the way over there? 2, Rithik sent an impact over towards Pixel without clearing anything.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I can do this. Listen, all I need is confidence. Utility be damned. And it didn't work. I guess he didn't believe hard enough, so. 5-2. NEU continue their dominant streak as they'll now go to Reading Room Fireplace, avoiding Kitchen for now, likely saving the bottom floor site for the tertiary as Chaotic will swap onto the Legion from the Rook. Rook, pretty much inferior to Doc. Why would you take him when Doc is on the board? The only reason you should ever take a Rook is if someone is already playing Doc. So, there you're going to swap off that. You've got the Vigil as well for Drone Denial. The Vigil and the Mute. Surprised there's no Mozzie to kind of round things out. You know, what would you say? They're not the dynamic duo. They're the trinamic trio. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The trinamic trio of Mute, Mozzie, and Vigil. Just not coming out. Interestingly enough, I guess they just want Legion. They want a little more delay power in him and the Smoke. Of course, both operators just becoming exponentially more powerful as you get later in the round. And I mean, if they can hold on to Cocktail like they just did on Bar, this should be another round for NEU.
Yeah, I mean, definitely good operator setups from both teams right here. It's all going to come down to how well they can actually leverage these operators. As we saw last round, a lot of the hard breach just kind of fell flat as pardon me, Tonsil Tennis missed one of the Hibana pellets, and a lot of the operators actually, with Ash and Gridlock getting taken out very, very early on, made for a very awkward situation later on, as they just had issues taking the site, and then of course Zephyr popping off with that Jaeger made it even harder, as he got a quad kill I think last round, making it obviously very difficult as you only have one player left for your team, but push that on top of the fact that most of your fragging power got taken out early with Dez getting taken down. He was kind of the big frag power for his team there, and really making things awkward. But with this potential match point on the horizon, it's looking dangerous for this Waterloo squad.
Yeah, no picks within the first minute for either side, as it's a pretty slow take so far from UW, just taking control of the roof and finally dropping down as they drone in through Piano. Now moving over towards White Palace, they've got to be wary of that player on the White Stairs as well as in Cocktail. Now, it's shaping up to be a pretty standard attack, of course, you know, take top floor, move down into Reading, plant default, open the floor with whoever you've got the Buck on Tonsil Tennis, but with less than a minute and a half now, and really no signs of aggressively pushing these defenders out, it could spell disaster for the attack if they don't ramp things up. And it's going to be Zephyr to start things off with a double kill onto Dez and Rithik. Lamathros, though, with 2 of his own to answer back, but you've lost Hibana and Zofia, your only hard breach. For a Jaeger and a Vigil, at least there's a pretty decent refrag in the Smoke of Clem, putting it down to a 2 versus 3. It's Spanish Inquisition and Chaotic, the last 2 alive, but the Legion still going to be regenerating those goos. The C4 from the Mute, I was going to say could come in handy, but it will unfortunately fall upon deaf ears, as Chaotic now holds the White Stairs. The Spanish Inquisition looks maybe a little bit squirrely inside the site, not really knowing where he wants to play with the ceiling above him falling, but he does have the shotgun. You know, fights through the floor with a shotgun tend to go your way, especially with the M590, which, granted, it's not Smokes, which is better than Mutes, but it's still a pretty powerful weapon in the right hands. As he's backed all the way over towards Laundry. Chaotic, unfortunately, missing the shots onto those players inside of pillars as the smoke grenades start to come down. A default plant so far from the Gridlock, but here's the rush from the Mute. He'll be able to spot the planter and down her off. Only 6 seconds left in the 2 versus 2. A kill from above by the Buck. It's all up to Chaotic to deny. it's 0-0. Buck has to cover or the round is lost. He'll take the fight against Legion, and Chaotic just doesn't pull the trigger. There's UW taking round number 8. They'll be able to take the reading attack as Chaotic and the Mute at the end there just falter a little bit. I was wrong. The Legion did pull the trigger, but it did not hit the Buck at all. That's going to be UW's third round.
Yeah, and you gotta feel bad for Zephyr there. Man put in mad work to get those 2 opening frags, and just unfortunately Vigil whiffing a lot of those rounds to get the trade kill for his teammate. And ended up actually being a double kill right back for Llama Thrust, making it even once again, and then quickly followed up by another kill onto that smoke. Just so many players dropping really early on for that NEU squad. And that kind of translated into just so much pressure that they couldn't actually recover from, as all they had left was a Mute and a Legion, and Mute's only so effective with that shotgun and SMG-11. And he did get one onto the planter, but it's because no one was covering the plant. He just kind of ran through it, the shotgun, dropped them, and left. Which obviously after that got shot through the ceiling, because there's just so much vertical pressure that can be exerted on that site with the entire ceiling being destructible. And if you get control of that 3rd floor and you start opening up floors, it gets very hard for those defenders to actually move anywhere on site. You kind of get a clear lane to plant.
Yeah, I thought once they killed that planter there, that was going to be it. But Buck had a great reaction through the floor to take out the Mute. And from there, unfortunately, Chaotic missed the shots as the Buck rotated down to cover his teammate from Pillar Door. So, a pretty good recovery there by UW. I think NEU as well just maybe gave away a couple more picks than they should have, especially trying to retake the top floor. But we'll see how they do on Kitchen now.
More, please.
Yeah, there. Okay, he's just gonna blast it away completely. All right, a bakery hold. It appears likely from Zephyr. Again, it's usually the Jaeger we see in that position, but of course, Swiggity can play there if he'd like as well. The Wamai is also suited, and he will. Playing behind both the shield, and again, able to regenerate the magnets throughout the round and stop any projectiles from blowing up his shield or flushing him out of position. As Chaotic will get a very early frag onto Tonsil Tennis, just cutting him right off the rappel on it looks like the dining window, and you've lost your Buck. You've lost your main soft breach on a kitchen attack. That's definitely going to hurt later in the round.
For sure, and just losing also just the fragging power of that Buck early on as well, making it even more awkward, as now, while they do have much remaining frag power in the side of Samwise and Llama Thrust and Rithik on the Zofia, Gridlock, and Ash respectively, but it is just getting really awkward as they do have the Maverick in such a strong spot inside of this bakery area, as there is the Maestro Cam in there to watch for anyone coming from that side of Small Bakery, and also just a long angle from Zephyr over in the whiskey area, is making sure that there is no way that you can get bakery or small bakery without getting at least into one sideline of these NEU players. And one person is actually looking like they're trying to push in right now very, very closely. And we're going to have to track the progress of this Waterloo push, as it is getting really awkward for Wamai here, as he is starting to get a lot of his magnets burned, as that is the actual one of them getting taken out by, I believe that was a Zofia explosive charge getting taken out by the Wamai. But Wamai does not have a disc for another, I think, about 15 seconds, so he's going to be sitting kind of a sitting duck for a little bit, as he does have backup from prep, but it is not going to mean much if he just gets naded out in quick succession.
Speaking of sitting duck, though, the Hibana that tried to open up Wedding Wall, unfortunately, it was muted. And Chaotic was able to destroy all those X-Kairos. So, didn't just see how many Dez still has left in his pocket, but if he can't open that wall, that's definitely going to be harder to flush out that bakery player. But Clem goes down, peeking the long angle on the Wedding Window against Llama Thrust. Chaotic nearly taking the head off the Hibana, but Dez is actually able to down Zephyr. And Samwise will take out Spanish Inquisition, the Wamai, to try and follow up for the trade, but Chaotic on a Llama Thrust. 3 versus 3. Technically 2 versus 2, as both players on either side have been down. It's Chaotic and Swiggity versus Samwise and Dez, but Samwise takes out Swiggity very swiftly. It's all up to Chaotic. Now, Dez is very lit up, granted. He's only 1 bullet away from death, but Samwise is full HP on the Ash. Now, Chaotic can keep regenerating these goo mines to help cover his back, but he knows where the push has to be coming from. Pre-firing will land on the head of Samwise. He's got to get a 4K to win out the round, but with only 1 bullet from death. Dez has no clue where the Legion is. Peeking around towards Harry Potter. He'll lose the fight in Chaotic. A massive 4K on the Legion will push NEU to match point. Wonderful play there from the Legion, and just a complete lack of intel there from UW.
Yeah, really just it came down to, like, Chaotic got those early kills onto that Buck, and actually strained him up to what we saw as the 4K. It really came down to the fact that he had the diffuser right there. He had diffuser at such a prime spot because it was in the middle of the hallway where you couldn't just kind of slowly inch out of that kitchen double door, and you actually had to fully expose yourself to the Harry Potter position where Chaotic was sitting, and that gave him so many sightlines because the bar was whiskey/bar, depending on what you call it, was actually boarded up. So someone either had to come from Coates or from the kitchen or start breaking down that barricade. So he had so many sightlines into how to actually get there, and just wide open free range season on anyone that came into that, as he quickly took down the first person to get it, and then the person who came from Coates had no idea he was there. I don't know if it was just he didn't get the call from his teammate, because his teammate died from that same exact angle and just immediately got wiped. And it was an amazing performance out of Chaotic on that Legion, but instead of going for Legion, he's going to switch it up to the Maestro this time for the match point, potentially the map here on this last round. 10. I can math.
But it's Bar Cocktail, and we know how well that went for UW last time. Hint, it didn't. So, NEU are in a pretty good position to just close out the map right here and now, and even if they lose this round, you know, they're up 3 points. They effectively have a full site rotation worth of buffer before UW catches up. So, you know, if bar doesn't work, go to reading. If reading doesn't work, go back down to kitchen. You have a lot of space. Being down 6-3 is a whole different ballgame from being down 6-4. Like, it might not seem like much, but that 1 point can grant the defenders a hell of a lot more flexibility. So, it's definitely gonna be rough for UW if they want to come back, but you know, it's possible. I don't know if it's very likely, but it's possible. And as I say that, Zephyr will spawn peek. That's not even really a spawn peek. Samwise just ran up to the building, and guess who that is? That's Thermite.
Yep.
That's the only hard breach.
Your hard breach. The only thing that could have made it work was if they lost Sledge and Sophia at the same time, because then, there goes your soft breach. Which I guess you kind of have the super shorty of Llama Thrust, but...
But it's bar, though. You don't really need soft breach, plus the fact that, like, there's no castle. So, I mean...
Definitely the most
That's
inopportune time to lose your hard breacher, if we're putting it lightly.
For UW, if you're Zephyr, you're probably like, "Ooh, that's the round, man." You're probably like, "All right, boys, that's hard breach dead. We got this. Play passive. Let them walk in." I mean, because there's nothing UW can do except walk through doorways.
Yep. Or just have some kind of hole open for them by some grace of God, missed reinforcement, but. We do see a Jaeger hanging out over by pillars right now, and he actually might get spammed out here by the person hanging out outside on balcony, but both players missed their shots, so net gain of Niet. And we'll be slowly working their way up to the 3rd floor with a lot of rappel game coming down, a lot of pushing towards this cocktail area. Ooh,
Why?
My goodness,
Why?
actually. Chaotic deciding to peek the cocktail window and loses his life for it to Dez.
Why?
Evening it back up, unbeknownst reasons as to why he's speaking that. If you're getting shot out from that window, there's such a pixel angle you get to go for. Zephyr quickly on the triple kill, though, taking down Llama, Console, and Rithik for the quad kill, and Spanish Inquisition taking the last kill.
What was that one tap? Did you see
Spanish Inquisition ruining it for 2 teammates. He takes the ace twice. Once from Zephyr and once from Swiggity Swooty. His teammates are going to have a word with him, but that is the map and the match in favor of NEU, closing it out here in an explosive fashion.
They knew he was there. They knew.
Yeah.
Sledge fought with him. And he got 4, all piled in the 90 hall. Like, and then that one tap onto Zofia. Ooh.
Yeah,
one tap pre-fire.
Disgusting.
Oi. Very well
Yeah,
played.
Acquisition's
there.
gonna do it.
Well played by pretty much the entire team. So well played to NEU. I think we were talking before, right? We kind of that was both our predictions coming into it that
Yeah.
NEU is probably gonna take the win. As it looks like we are gonna get an interview, and I think it's going to be with Spanish Inquisition.
Yes, sir. Indeed, it shall.
So we shall expect him.
Yes, which undermines the purpose of his name, as you're not supposed to expect the Spanish Inquisition, but now we are expecting the Spanish Inquisition. And speaking of expecting the Spanish Inquisition, here is the man, the myth, the legend himself, getting that final kill of the game there. Congrats on the win. Any initial thoughts you want to share out into the audience for us?
First of all, thank you guys for volunteering your time for us. Appreciate that as always. Glad to be up on stream. And awesome work from the team today. I absolutely loved it. Swiggity Swooty was coming for that booty on the first map. Absolutely clapped on Ash, which was pretty incredible. Clem and Zephyr went nuclear on the second map, which was exactly what we needed, because that they threw a spanner in our works, but spanning that castle, but we kept our heads clear, and we had the entirety of the attack to sit and brainstorm, think about how we were going to adapt to that. Because if you were watching last week, you patient viewers, you knew we ran castle a lot. So we were able to adapt there, which was effective. We improved our attacks as well. If you noticed that from last week, we had some practice yesterday on both of these maps, which was really useful. Our drone economy was awesome. I think it was much better. We were on top of it. We had drones up watching the flanks. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I nearly got sent to the moon by a C4.
We actually caught it from your perspective.
Oh my god! I nearly flew out of my own chair.
Yeah.
God, yeah, that was terrifying.
Yeah, it was terrifying to watch. Like, we were sitting there, oh no, there is the nitro coming at him. And
yeah, the Spanish Inquisition expected that, though. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we're ready. We're on top of it.
Oh yeah.
The Spanish Inquisition expects you.
That's 100%. In Soviet Russia, the Spanish Inquisition expects you.
Yeah. Let's see. Any questions?
Starting off on that first map.
Sure.
How did y'all feel getting into that early 4-2 deficit?
We were a little stunned, frankly. We knew it was from some small mistakes that we needed to kind of work out. Like I said last week, and this has always been the case, we are very slow off the block. It takes us a little bit to get going. Again, having faith in our practice and the time we've spent, like putting forth on these maps, practicing, coming up with strategies, reviewing them, going over callouts, and knowing that we could win the next ones, and we did it. That's just it had to be done.
And another question from me, actually, how do you feel being the lone man to ruin two of your teammates' aces over 2 maps?
Yeah, I think with 3 aces were ruined, but I do feel
sweet.
Yeah, I think Clem stole one of Swooty's aces on one of the attacks. I do feel bad about it, but we as a team are more concerned about getting the dub than flexing on anybody. We got the flex with the hammer kill anyway.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
it was all downhill from there, really. That's our stance on stealing aces.
I don't actually know if you realize, but that dock was actually looking directly at the planter right as it hit 000.
Wow!
And so if you had missed him by a millisecond, he would have actually won
he was staring down long into Cigar, flicked to the Zofia, missed his first shot, and then you downed him.
I can't make more than a mistake. I won't let you do it.
It was extremely close. It was actually
our comms are pretty great.
Heartbreaking.
I'll see if I can post a video of me yelling after that one.
Friggin' on map 1 as well. Did you expect him to go AVG 3 freaking times?
No, that's actually, I don't know if you noticed, but we all spawned the wrong spot, ran all the way to the other side of the map, and then started attacking because we were not prepared for the third time. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna move, right? They're gonna do something different.
There's no way they go for a third time, right?
Yeah, they won the 3 time.
But I don't know.
With respect to all kills are spoken for Clem, regardless of what time of the round it is. They're always Clem's kills, so you're always stealing them from him anyway.
Okay.
So nobody gets an ace. It's Clem's ace you're stealing when you get a kill.
Okay, I see.
I'd forgotten about that.
Another thing I want to bring up is when y'all were taking, I forget which round it was. It was the second half of the second map when y'all just kind of got free plants.
Yes.
What were comms looking like? Because from our perspective, it actually took a moment to register the fact that they're in the
that was round 8.
Yeah,
we were a little bit too focused on getting the plant down and not enough focused on what we were going to do post plant. So we one of our players called, "Oh, site's clear. We're great. We can go for a plant. Just drop in a train. It'll be fine." We dropped in the train. It was fine. Got the fuse down. It was fine. It was the post plant that wasn't fine. As soon as we lost Clem over on pillars, it became very, very difficult because I couldn't get at a train. I needed to get on like a window just outside, far away. And then Sudi thought he had it from below, but unfortunately, Waterloo had some pretty long arms that game. They've been in the gym, and they were able to long arm that diffuser from him. So he had to take some aggressive fight from below and lost it because he had, I think, 4 people shooting back at him, or 3 of them.
Yeah, they were all peeking through the floor.
Yeah, so we were looking. I think we looked the gift horse and the mouse, or we should have looked the gift horse and the mouse. We just took it. But lesson learned. We won't make that mistake twice, certainly.
Yeah, we were a little confused by the post, but especially the positioning too. It seemed like the thought process was like, all right, step 1, free site control, get the plant down. Step 2, question mark. Step 3,
Step
profit.
2,
Like, there was no
yes.
there was no step 2.
It was the groom meme, but we were missing one of the panels. It just wasn't there.
Pretty much.
The look back was the.
What happened with freaking Zephyr on the very, very last round? So he's
Sure.
well, first of all, did he know who he killed off the rappel first off?
Yeah, we knew it was Thermite.
Okay, you guys knew it was Therm. So he kills Therm. He goes, all right, guys, hard breach is dead. Continues to roam down by reading.
Yep.
How does everyone just die in 90? Like, did he know? Did he just wide swing and there happened to be like 2 people?
Everyone.
Did you guys have info?
So we knew there were some down there, and TJ's a very intelligent player, Zephyr. So that was all on him. We knew there was one on the window with me, and the rest of them we knew we had come in down there. We knew a few vaulted into train. So he wasn't swinging blind, but he was swinging pretty blind, and that was all pretty much on his raw skill. So he really popped off right there.
Yeah, because we were talking about who was the maestro?
That was Kai.
Yeah. We were like, after Chaotic peeked the window, and Bonsai and I were just kind of sitting there going, why?
Why?
We saw Zephyr's 2 kills swap down to him, and then we saw the second body drop, and then he pre-fire 1-tapped the Zofia, and that was
beautiful.
pretty beautiful. So
as soon as I heard the call in from the IQ, I knew it was a game set match right there.
Yeah.
And I think one last question coming in for me on that first map, when y'all were defending kitchen, and I think it was Zephyr who ran upstairs to go clear the last person. When it was, and he just decided he was just gonna half clear it, just jump back over.
It was poor communication. We didn't know where the last operator was. We thought 2 had come in sight, and that was just not the case. We were
questioning, because if he had actually kept running, he would have had the drop on Ash, and it would have been an easy round. But he just decided he was going to drop off halfway.
If I had started defusing a little bit to the right of where I started, I probably would have got it off too. I thought that she was over in the other site, and she would have had a line of sight on me for defusing, so I had to be very careful where I put it, and I had to take a gamble. Took the gamble. She was upstairs, but we were out of time.
Well, either way, your team came out with the dub, so it's going to be 2-0 with the dub, 3 points for y'all, moving on into the next week. I'm not quite sure who y'all face next week, but I wish you luck with that. And
thank you very much.
Coming through to you all from CEA Siege on this Friday night. Getting almost to Saturday morning for some of us on the East Coast. But my name is Bonze. My co-caster's name is Crow, and we'll be seeing you all in the next one.